back with America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Kruse, and if you're looking for something really out of the ordinary for your next backcountry adventure, I've got just the thing. It's going on a llama-supported pack trip with Wilderness Ridge Trail Llamas. We are talking to the owner today, Beau Baty. Beau, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, John, for having me. Appreciate it. Yeah, excited to talk to everyone about llamas here.
Well, absolutely. This is really unique. Where exactly do you operate, and what services do you offer?
So we operate in Yellowstone National Park, which is kind of the big one, the Grand Teton out of Jackson Hole, and the Wind River Range. So everything kind of right there in Montana and Wyoming. And what we offer is llama-assisted backpacking trips, where we go on a pack trip, for 1 night all the way up to 7 nights. And the llamas carry all of our gear and equipment, and we provide everything, the shuttle, transportation, the llamas, the guide, all the equipment and gear, and obviously the best meals we can possibly bring in with the llamas.
So I've been on a few horseback trips into the backcountry where you ride your horse and the mules carry all your gear, but a llama pack trip, that's, pardon the pun, a different animal. You can't exactly ride a llama, can you?
No. We get that question asked a lot, actually. So the llamas, kind of the interaction that takes place is the llamas were used for 6,000 years by the Inca civilization. So llamas are known as beasts of burden primarily in South America. So the llamas will carry 70 to 90 pounds, and each person that comes on a llama-assisted backpacking trip will have the opportunity to use their own llama. So each llama has its name, they have their personality and their quirks, and they get to lead a llama. And the llama will carry all of our camping gear and the personal gear of the person that's leading the llama each day that we're on the trek. So the llama, the dynamic that provides is incredible and really enhances the experience.
Well, I want to talk about that dynamic a little bit in terms of the interaction that the llamas and the hikers have on these trips. I don't know a whole lot about the personality of llamas. Are they standoffish? Are they friendly? I've heard they'll spit on you if you treat them wrong.
Yeah. The llamas, they definitely can spit. They're super fun to be around because, they're not like a dog where a dog needs to be pet and have lots of attention, but they'll totally allow you to cuddle them, to pet them, to give them hugs. And once you form a bond with your animal, they recognize you and they totally know who you are. And so, like on day 2 of our trips, everyone wants to have the same llama they had on day 1, which is, kind of speaks to the animal's personality. They're very calm, and in high-stress situations, they're actually really mellow, unlike horses and mules, which is, great for outfitting for people coming from all over the world to go on these trips. The llamas, like I said, they breathe confidence, and it's something they've been bred for thousands of years. And so when they're on the trail, they're all business, and then when we get to camp, they're really fun and playful. So, yeah, that's kind of the dynamic between the guests and the llamas.
Oh, that sounds like all sorts of fun. A couple of other questions about llamas in terms of their personality. Are they like horses? Are they like dogs? Each one has a different personality?
Oh, yeah. I would say that each llama is totally different than the next one, and they each have their own personality, their own quirks, things they like and don't like, and it's pretty crazy. And I think the most commented thing that we hear on a trip from our guests after trip is that they just can't believe the different personalities of each of the llamas, And we had a trip yesterday, actually, down in southern Utah, one of our areas, and the guest called me. He's like, we laughed and laughed and laughed. We just couldn't believe it. The llama's quirky personalities were so funny, and people just get a kick out of spending time with them because they're just such a unique animal.
This sounds like all sorts of fun. Folks, you're listening to America Outdoors Radio. We're talking to Beau Baty, the owner of Wilderness Ridge Trail Llamas. He'll take you into Yellowstone National Park, Grand Teton National Park, and Wyoming's Wind River Range on llama-supported pack trips. Let's talk about some of your destinations. I noticed, looking at your website, you go to a lot of lakes, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, that's traditional old school outfitting, is the kind of the fall hunting outfitting. So when the summer market, over the last 4 or 5 decades became a big thing, most people just had one little micro area. And I'm a traveler, kind of a gypsy at heart, and I love all the beauty of the different areas. And I told my wife, I said, we need to offer trips all over the West. This is what we love, the Rocky Mountains, and we want to show people the highlights of all these different beautiful areas and their uniqueness. So that's what we sought out to do. And we just kind of keep expanding just because we love so many of these unique areas and want to show people what they're all about.
Now, I understand a lot of folks are just going to hike and going to camp, but it sounds like, again, looking at your destinations, that bringing your fishing rod is probably a pretty good bet, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, going to the Wind Rivers or Yellowstone's backcountry and not having a fly fishing rod, it's almost a crime. If you don't know how to fish or want to learn how to fish, or you're an expert fisherman, definitely we can help you out at any kind of level that you're at, and definitely recommend it. It's one of life's, pleasures that needs to be explored by beginners and experts alike.
Beau, I agree. I love alpine lake fishing probably more than just about anything else when it comes to fishing. And folks, Beau's absolutely right. It doesn't take much. You can tie on a fly with spinning gear and have a weighted bobber and do just fine. You can toss spinners. You can toss spoons. I would ask that you make it a single barbless hook, because catch and release fishing is pretty important in these places. The type of trout you're catching, are we talking cutthroat? Are we talking brookies, rainbows? What are we talking here?
Yeah, it kind of just depends, actually. For Yellowstone's one of the greatest public land fisheries in the entire world. And, basically untouched by man. There's no cattle grazing. So you have the native fish, mountain whitefish. You have, North Slope cutthroat, which everyone's coming to Yellowstone really to catch the cutthroats. And then lots of brook trout. And some of the big lakes like Heart Lake have just monster lake trout. And, the Heart Lake is a place in Yellowstone hard to get to, and we take float tubes in there. You got to hike 10 miles in, camp at a beautiful campsite. You're the only one on the lake with float tubes, and it's just a wonderful experience. So, yeah, lots of cutthroats and brook trout for sure in most of the areas in the Western Rockies over here.
This sounds great. And one other thing that I know has got to be great is the camping and probably the food. Do your guides cook it for the customers every night?
Yep. Absolutely. We actually provide a gourmet catered breakfast, and so we find out the dietary preferences and restrictions of each guest, and then we actually go and buy all the ingredients and food to say it's a 5-day pack trip into Yellowstone, and we'll make the breakfast, lunch, and dinner each and every day for the guest. And it's as fresh as food as we can possibly find. Most of it's locally and organically sourced and grown. I mean, that's one of the highlights of our trips, and we try to have a 5-star experience, and having the best meals possible definitely helps that come together nicely.
Well, Beau, it sounds not only like a 5-star experience, but an actual bucket list experience, too. Folks, again, a pack trip supported by llamas in one of our great national parks, whether it be Yellowstone or Grand Teton, or going into the Wind River Range of Wyoming, you can do it. The website to find out more is wildlandllamatreks.com. Llama with 2 L's there. That's wildlandllamatreks.com. Check out the different offerings. Contact Beau and his wife and make your reservations for an adventure you will never forget. Beau, thanks for sharing this with us today on America Outdoors Radio.
Hey, you bet. Thank you, John. Really appreciate it. Have a good rest of the day, man.